works like.
Andre's been so busy, and you're still in the Canary Islands.
I am, yes.
How's the Spanish has been picking it up a little bit?
Muy espacito. Mi lengua de trabajo es inglés. So yo hablo mucho español con los gentes que trabajo en el supermercado.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Cool. What do you order? What do you get? What are the things that you have to say in Spanish when you go to the market?
Well, I have to say there's things like, for instance, seis croquetas con bacalao y dos pechugas Villeroy. And stuff like that. So, yeah, no, I'm in the Canary Islands, but I still mostly do the grind on Midnight Sedge, and that's mostly English language. And I haven't been to any Spanish course or something. Of course, I am surrounded by Spanish the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And pregunta para André, ¿qué es lo mejor en la vida? Can't answer that in Spanish.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy, Andre. Mi esposa.
Well, no, he's got his Conan. You know, he's got his Conans. He's got his Conan saying.
Mi esposa es lo mejor en la vida. You have to help me with the translation of that. No, because but my understanding of Spanish has been great. Like, I understand like 80% now, but the challenge is making sentences with all of the complex structures, with all of the genders and the times. And since my default language is such a simple barbarian language, it's like more complex to learn a language like Spanish. Like, for instance, if you learn my language, Norwegian, it's simpler because it's so barbaric and unstructured. Like, yeah, like, for instance, when like you, in English you have I am, you are. In Spanish it's the same. Yo soy, tú es, eres. Right? You have that in Norwegian. So, like, we are simple peoples. We stuff like I is, you is, they is. That's how you do it in Norwegian. So it's like it's just really complex grammar to pick up.
And you find that the Spanish side, with sometimes you have the loosening of the language, not following certain like grammar that you expect to be followed from the traditional Spanish, especially when you're getting into dialects that really fluctuate in Spanish. I'm sure that throws you off a little bit. How do you deal with that?
Well, I'm getting used to the Canarian way of speaking Spanish, which is much more similar to the South American way of speaking Spanish. Of course, you have like plenty dialects. There's some South American dialects I think are difficult to understand. But I come to that I find like the mainland Spanish to be more difficult to understand than the Canary Islands Spanish, which to me is like very nice and straightforward and easy to understand.
Right. Give us an example of that. What would be?
Well, the big example is for instance, that you don't have that lisp that you have in mainland Spain. So you don't. So it's really close to the mainland Spanish. It still follows like most of the grammatical rules. You don't have the more slang expressions that you have many places in Southern America, where you deviate more from the Spanish. So it's kind of like perfect of both worlds, where you are mostly really close to it, but you don't have the lisp, because that came into mainland Spain later, which kind of like makes the Canary Island Spanish pretty perfect, in my opinion. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. It's more classic. It's not corrupted by the lisp that I really don't like, but at the same time, it's much more closer to what you would read in the subtitles of a movie, or it's, of course, one that's in the mainland subtitling, but also like expressions that you would learn in Spanish class, which will be different in Mexican or in Peruvian or something like that.
Right. You don't have the presiento que me
exactly.
parece. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
no
let me
offense
ask
to
you.
anyone who uses it, but just to my ear, I prefer
Mhm.
the Canadian way of speaking. Yes.
So let me ask you a quick question. Have you been able to see in maybe with dubs Zorro yet? Because that was filmed in Canary Islands in Spain.
It was many things. I started watching it. I haven't gotten very far because I
Mhm.
was I missed I missed the opportunities to talk about it. Then it went down the list. Now I have to get caught up on Shogun and stuff like that, so we can still talk about that. But yeah, I started watching it, and so far what I have seen seems very, very good. I like the cast. I like the way it's filmed. Not a big fan of all the creative choices and the changes to like the sort of mythos in a sense, but
Mm.
overall seems like a very cool production, and I look forward to seeing it through the end. And yeah, there's a lot of filming going on in the Canary Islands. Good place to be here for that. I mean, I saw Henry Cavill in the street here.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Not only her.
Wow.
There was like one woman I saw. I was like, "Damn, that woman there, she really looked a lot like Amber Heard." But nah, I know that she's in another Spanish island. She's not here. And then I read later that, oh no, actually she was here to for some film festival to promote that new movie of hers. So yeah, I did catch her in the street as well. That's like if I'd known, I'd taken a
Jesus.
selfie with her. That would have been cool.